Hi everybody. It looks as though we are live. How's everybody today? I see that a lot of you are already here. I'm getting the little stream of comments on the side, and I can tell that you're here. Let me see if I can show. There you go. I can see your comments right in front of me. So it's Saturday and it's noon, and it means we're gonna draw together. So a couple of you have already asked, what are we drawing with today? So I'm going to start by telling you what I'm going to use. You know probably already that I'm a big believer in drawing with very cheap materials. Okay, now sometimes, of course, I use an iPad and blah, 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 but today we're going to use a big pen. You know, one of those like made in France, little big pen. Well, actually, it's made in Mexico from what I just witnessed. It doesn't matter. What I like though about this big pen is because it's see-through, it means it's a medium width. It's not a thin. I know I have some thin ones somewhere, but this is my favorite because the moment you apply a little bit of pressure, you can really get like a nice dark stroke. Okay. Oh my gosh, Jan, you are here. Guys, I need to tell you that Jan and me, we went to elementary school together. So we knew each other back in 81, 82, up until about 85. Yeah, we go way back. Wow, Jan, je suis vraiment contente que tu sois là. So, Anne, you are absolutely right. We are not using the Mont Blanc today. We're going to go super cheap because the last thing I want you guys to think is that it takes expensive supplies to make good drawings. Now, that doesn't guarantee that it's going to be a success today because when we draw in pen, as you know, we can't go back, we can't erase, but that's part of the fun. Oh my gosh, I wish I could stop and say hi to every single one of you. I cannot believe that I have people from all over. Wow. Okay, so hi everybody. Those of you on this continent, those of you on other continents, those of you who are here from far, far away, I so appreciate the fact that you're sitting here at home around dinner time, like those of you in France and Germany. Wow. So thanks for being here. Are you ready? We're home. It's really gray and rainy here on the East Coast of the United States. And that's why I'd like to explain something to you that I'm going to do a tiny bit differently than what I usually do. I decided to put my drawing board, because I'm not going to draw on my desk today, I'm going to draw on the drawing board right facing a window. So I have a window right next to me here, and I want the light to sort of flood my area. But that's not the only reason why I'm doing this. I'm also doing this because I found out that in these live drawings, when I draw flat on the table, because I've got this document camera, this is the camera I'm using, the camera forces me to put my paper flat on the table. And this is really not something I'm used to doing. You guys know what drawing flat does to a drawing. It will distort it. And really, I don't like that effect. So I'm either tempted to leave it flat and stand and draw, kind of more on top of it, or I can use one of those. I absolutely love these big clipboards. I bought this so many years ago. And I'm going to just rest this on my windowsill right here. And that way, this is a little bit at an angle. So if I show you what it looks like here, you see it's not exactly flat. This would be flat, but I'm going to just slant it a little bit to make it a little better to see. You guys agree that it's really much better to draw with your drawing more up than flat, because we're gonna distort otherwise. Okay, so yay, Gustavo, you are going to draw with your daughter. That's awesome. I love that. I love that. And I love the fact that Margaret is here too. This is so great. So, I told you I would be drawing. Let me get back to the big camera, right? I'm going to be drawing with a big pen. Um, it doesn't mean that you have to draw with a big pen. You can draw with any kind of pen. You can also draw with a pencil. It's really up to you. But I decided to draw in pen because, because I like a challenge. What can I say? And I want to talk to you about the paper I'm going to use. So, do you guys know Blick? Great brand. Blick, and we're going to use a Bristol paper, which is a fairly thick paper with a tiny, tiny bit of tooth. Not much. There's a little bit of texture to this paper. You can't really see it here, but there's a tiny bit of texture on this Bristol paper. I love this paper. By the way, I often do this. I draw on one side, I don't finish, and then I use the other side because this kind of paper is not cheap, guys. It's not the cheapest thing. So I use both sides because, well, it's practice anyway. As you know, I'm not exhibiting any of this stuff in a museum anytime soon, right? This is all about the learning. So, oh my gosh, so many people are showing up. I can't keep track. So good to see everybody. People from France and England, the UK, Washington State, Philly. Oh my gosh, a couple of people from Philly. Then we have Elijah and we have Julia and Dallas, Texas. Oh, this is great. So if you guys have Bristol paper, go ahead and grab yourself a page of this. But frankly, anything will do. This is not fancy, although I will say that a block of what is this, 15 sheets, it's about what is it, $12 maybe, so not quite $1 a page. So you don't want to mess up, but at the same time, you know this, right? You don't want to draw and have this precious piece of paper and be like, oh, I really don't want to mess up this. It's, if we mess up today, so be it. You know what? I have one on the other side anyway. So here we go. All right. So guys, are you ready? I'm drawing with a big pen. You don't have to, but I'm thinking, why not? You know that we are drawing Big Al Lopez here. This is a drawing I've done in the past on my iPad a while back, and I absolutely loved drawing him. So I'm using exactly the same reference photo as I did back then. I'm now putting my Bristol piece of paper on my clipboard. I think this is okay. Tell me if this is a good position for everybody, right? This is okay. Maybe I can push it even closer to the right. This is the first time that I've done it this way, where I just lean my my drawing on the windowsill and sort of let it balance precariously, but it should work, right? Okay. Oh my gosh, we have people from Israel. This is beautiful. Okay. And yes, it feels like the United Nations, doesn't it? Yeah, they have nothing on us, guys. Nothing on us. This is world peace in practice. Okay. I borrowed my daughter's iPad mini, and I'm going to put Big Al on it so I have it right by my side here. I'm going to up the brightness of it. What I love, guys, did you notice something about Big Al on this photo? Look at what he's got in his pocket. Do you see it? Do you see the big pen that he's got in his pocket? It's black, but it's a big pen. How funny is that? I only noticed this now, and I drew this photo twice. In fact, okay, are you ready? Quickly before we start, last night I decided to do not a first draft, because I had already drawn this photo on my iPad, but just to kind of loosen myself up, I decided to do a version of it. But I did it kind of in the dark, and I'm really not happy about how overdone Big Al is on this particular one. So you know what we're going to do today? We are going to not go so dark. I think I overdid it a little bit in this version, which is done in big pen as well. I mean, this gives me an idea of how big I'm gonna make it, but plus it wasn't the same kind of paper. This was a page from a Stillman and Byrne sketchbook, which I love, but not the same kind of paper. Are you ready? Guys, remember that when we draw in pen, we do construction lines anyway, and Whatever happens, if they get covered up, that's good. They will get covered up, so don't worry. All right, so are you ready to start? I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go in, guys. I'm gonna go in. I am going to go in. So I've got Big Al on my left because I'm right-handed. And what I'm going to start doing, oh, I have to make sure that I'm exactly underneath the camera here. As I told you, this is rather new. You know what I like starting with, right? Big Al is a little bit slanted. His face is not like full frontal. We've got a little bit of a 3/4 and a slant. So what I like starting with, guys, as you know, is making sure that the line where the eyes are is set right off the bat. So I'm going to put this line right about here. And I am not pressing on my pen. Did you notice? You can probably barely see this line here because I'm going very carefully, right? Okay, so this will determine how the rest goes, because if this goes like this, then it means that the rest of his face will come down something like this. But of course, his face is not flat. We're going to have a nose. It's going to be a volume, okay? All right, so starting with where the eyes are and where I think his nose is, we also have the eyebrows, which sort of follow the same line. Guys, anything can happen in pen, right? Anything at all. This is really just a big experiment. Sometimes it goes the right way and sometimes it doesn't. So let's just hope this one is going to be okay. But again, I'm not here to put this in a museum at the end of this, so I'm not going to worry about it too much. Okay, so I also like the fact that Big Al has eyes that are almost, like half closed. Makes it interesting. I'm not going super dark right away. Did you notice I'm being a little cautious? Okay. Oh my gosh, I love hearing something like this. This is my favorite time of the week. I have to say, I have to say, it is for me too. It is necessary to do this. Very necessary. Let me bring this down so you can see it better. Does everybody see this well? Yeah? Let me know, okay? Let me know also if, as always, like if my voice gets soft and you can't hear me, like please, call me out on it. I will try to be on top of the comments as much as I possibly can. Okay. So there is an eye. Remember the space between the eyes. Don't bring them too close together. Okay. Got something like this going on. And the eyelid here. All right. And here. Once I always say this, guys, once we establish the eyes and where they are on that line, so that one eye is not here and the other one is, on another line, you really have to establish this. And then you really start getting a sense of comfort, confidence also as to where the face is going. Okay. Don't worry about being late. It's all good. It's all good. Okay. It's fine. All right. You know what I can do? I know that this system here allows me to zoom. So what I can do is try to zoom in on my drawing a little bit. What do you say? Okay. Can you guys see a little better that way? Is it better for everybody? I hope it is. By zooming in, hopefully that will remove some of the frustration of the camera. Okay, guys, so that nose. You know that a nose always ends with a ball, right? So we always have to show that in a drawing. So I am going to bring that ball, and because it is somewhat distorted because Big Al is seen a little bit from underneath. You know how we know that he's a little bit from underneath? Because we can see the nostrils a little. Okay? Yeah, is it better? Okay, good, good. I'm glad. Okay, so let's keep going. Now that we've established this ball, which again is gonna, it's gonna disappear. It's not a big deal. It's really not a big deal. Make all the marks that you need to make, and plus, um, I really like keeping the sketchiness of a drawing. Okay, keep your proportions in mind. I'm moving fairly cautiously here. You've noticed I'm not rushing into anything. Maybe I'm making this nostril a little big. You know how it is when you draw in pen, you want to start with the things that are dark first, so you have something safe to hold on to. Um, that's kind of what I'm doing here, establishing where I see where it's dark, like in the creases of the nose and things like that. Okay? Great. I'm glad you guys are here. I wish I could keep track with all the comments as they come in. All right. So you see I've got my construction lines, but I don't care. I like it. We're going to really build, I told you that identifying where the dark areas are is where we're really going to build the the values cross hatching, because that's coming, right? That's the whole point of all this. This is just an excuse to cross hatch. Let's face it, I love drawing faces, but they're just an excuse to make those little, zen like marks that just are so relaxing, so relaxing. All right, Big Al, we're gonna keep going here. And I'm moving a little cautiously. Maybe I should speed up a little bit. I'm not sure. Um, kind of jumping here and there because I'm not sure exactly what to hang on to right now, but um, all right. This is going to be, this whole area here behind his nose is going to be fairly dark. It's not, very well lit here, so we're going to bring in quite a bit of hatching there to take care of that. There's a cheek. Again, I'm going very softly. Okay. Um, yeah, I'm pretty happy, right? Shop 53 Tattoo. What a cool name. Yeah, I'm pretty happy because you guys over here at home drawing with me, you are motivating me to draw. And maybe for some I'm motivating you to draw, but frankly, let's face it, this is for me too, a little selfish perhaps, but true. Okay, let's keep going. Otherwise, I'm gonna chat this whole thing away, and then it's gonna be 1 o'clock, and I'm gonna be like, "Oh, I didn't draw anything." Okay. Um, did you notice that my lines are not very pretty? They're very a little bit tentative, not very dark. Okay. Oh, by the way, Jackie, very good question. So Jackie Bourne is asking us, where can we get a bigger reference picture? I'd love to try drawing Big Al myself after this tutorial. So yes, the link below, oh, it comes up small in a new tab. I suggest, Jackie, that you take it, you save it onto whatever device you have, and that way it will save as a regular sized photo. And thank you, Dana, for answering that question. Downloading the image is the way to go. That's how I do it. I download it onto my iPad. Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you, Dana. Okay, let's keep going. So, the mouth is going to follow, whatever line the eyes are on, the mouth is on the same because they are parallel. Okay, so mouth seems like it's right about here. This is a rough line right now, but it helps me establish where it is. And the bottom lip here. This particular portrait is going to have a lot of facial hair, obviously. Guess who loves drawing beards? Moi, right? Okay. Oh, unfortunately, when I don't pay attention, it tends to disappear from the iPad. But that's just a little problem, not a big one. Okay, let's see where his lip is. Man, it goes all the way here. Okay. And there's some dark here that I can hang on to. So now I'm gonna put some pressure on my pen and try to tie this mustache together. When I start cross hatching, I'll tell you when I'm ready to go. I will go into the darker areas, but I'm gonna go light at first. We're gonna cross hatch, but lightly. Did you notice also, guys, that so far I have not felt the need to wipe this pen anywhere? But when I do, it'll be when I start applying more pressure on it. Applying more pressure means more ink comes out, and when more ink comes out, then you run into issues of drooling, when the pen drools. So when that happens, you want to keep a piece of your paper, like usually right on top, right above the drawing, because again, I'm not exposing this anywhere. I just keep a corner of the page, the one where I draw. You can keep a separate paper too, but I don't bother with that. And I wipe my pen. I wipe it by kind of turning it on the paper. Okay. Okay. All right. So let's keep on going here. Let's keep on trucking. What do you say? Um, yeah, it's gonna be. Then I was saying, I can't wait for you to tackle the beard. I'm going very carefully here. You've probably noticed. I want to show that smile, that he's got going on behind that mustache, right? It's pretty generous mustache. Mm-hmm. Okay. And I'm gonna show you some shortcuts. Like what do we do when there's so much hair? Are we gonna draw every single hair? No, we're not. We're gonna make this a little more like a stylized facial hair sort of thing. All right. I'm gonna start wanting to darken some areas. So the way I'm gonna do this is I'm gonna bring in some very light cross hatching into the dark areas. And when I say light, I mean it, guys. If you want to get into it, go very lightly on your pen. See what I'm doing? Extremely light, so that then later I can come back. See, I'm already doing it. I come back and add a layer of cross hatching, and then I build on that and I build on that. So that's the whole thing about cross hatching. Those of you who know watercolor, the idea is very much the same. You start with one layer and then it dries, you come back and add another one, and yeah, that's how it goes. All right, what am I doing going back into the eye? Or the eyebrow for that matter. I was down here. Okay, all right. So what I want to suggest here is an overall shape of the beard, so that again, I'm big on not losing track of proportion. So I want to do that right off the bat. So my beard is going to go here right about. Okay. Again, going very lightly because I don't want to set anything too much in stone right now. But, so I have a good idea where things are. I think proportion-wise, we're doing okay. When I look at the space here and the space here and the space there, it looks about right when I look at my reference photo. Big Al has this gorgeous curly hair that I don't want to miss out on, so I'm gonna show some of it here at the top. But today I will never have time to go into his hair that much. And in fact, this is a part of his head that you don't really see. It kind of gets lost up on top. But I want to determine where his hairline is, where the sideburns would be here. Okay, coming down this way and then kind of going that way. So again, very thin lines here, but that way it kind of shows where I am. It's just markers at this point. Okay, where is the top of his ear? The top of his ear seems to align with, look, I'm going to draw a line here. It seems to align with where his eyebrow stops here underneath. Okay, so this is where the top of Big Al's ear is going to be, roughly. Okay, roughly. And don't make the ear gigantic because it's a 3/4, which means that the ear is shown in perspective, so it's going to somehow squish it a little bit. Okay? All right. Can you move the drawing down a bit? Of course I can. The thing is, when I move the drawing down a bit, then it's not going to be anchored to my drawing board, but I don't think it's a big problem, right? How do we feel? Good? You know, if I was somewhat, yep, see, that's the problem. It moves. Um, yeah, it's not gonna work, guys. I'm sorry. I need to clip it on. I thought I would be able to tie it with maybe a piece of tape, but I think I'm gonna keep it this way. And you know, we're not gonna tackle the hair anyway. So I'm just going to keep it here, and I hope you guys are okay with that. And we're going to focus on this area of his face anyway. We're really not going to worry too much about the hair. I hope you're okay with that. This is kind of a tough decision for me because right now I want to be able to keep it clamped onto my board. But one thing I can do is, let me see if this, hold on, give me a second. This is probably a little better. Not great, but better, right? Okay. All right, let's keep going because you know otherwise I'm gonna chat this whole thing away. So I was talking about the ear and how the fact that we're almost at a 3/4 will have an impact on its shape. Okay. Again, going lightly because I have no reason to press down hard on my pen right now. No reason whatsoever. This is gonna get dark, but depending on whether I have the time later to bring in some darkness, we'll see, okay? All right, and the beard goes on here, not a whole lot, but a little bit, and then Big Al's color kind of comes in here, okay? Do you agree? And the hair itself, you know, the back of his head, boom, like this, right? Can you see everybody? Yeah, good. All right. I'm pretty excited to go with pen as well, really. The reason why I'm choosing not to use tape though is because eventually I'm gonna need to move my drawing around. As I start cross hatching, I am going to need to play around with the angle. Yeah. Okay, so no tape, guys. I'm sorry. It's not gonna help me today. All right, now I've got my proportions somewhat right. Okay, and when I say somewhat, it means that still anything could go wrong, but inside those proportions, but at least my proportions feel right. Okay, there's the color of Big Al, and then on the other side, it goes like this. But I'm not gonna go into great detail where his color is. Okay. Okay. Oh my gosh, Dana, thank you. We are 28 minutes into the video. Thank you for reminding me. Okay, so I'm wiping this pen up on top so that I have a clean ballpoint, and I'm going to start cross-hatching a little bit to bring in some of the dark areas. So take a look. I'm going to focus on this area right there. This is where really things are going to get dark. So at first, I'm not going to go super dark, but I am going to bring in some lines. Those lines, those of you who have followed my cross-hatching class, you know that they always go from away from me to close to me. So I always pull a line down, okay? And by the way, my gosh, I have not, this is 30 minutes into the drawing, and I have not even mentioned the fact that in the month of May, guys, in the month of May, we are going to do a drawing at home with friends, moi, which means we are going to meet every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and in that class, we are just going to draw together. If you're like me and you have to stay inside and you're on basically a lockdown situation, you have time. You want to spend that time not necessarily alone and isolated. And I thought that those Saturday sessions were absolutely just delightful. So we're going to have this happen 3 times a week on top of the Saturday live drawing session. So if you want to check out this new class, it's not going to be very didactic, and I'm not going to go into, oh, today we're going to learn this technique. Yes, there's going to be technique, but it's mostly about getting together and drawing along and basically showing up at the page 3 times a week plus Saturday. So that's a total of 4 times a week. So if you guys want to join, I'm sure there's a link under this video for signing up for drawing at home with friends. So, yes, Jackie, you have a good question. The cross hatching class is included in the 40% off, absolutely. So, if you want to grab any 3 of my classes and get 40% off, um, you're welcome to do so. Oh my gosh, you signed up, Chris. I'm so happy. Thank you for signing up for this new class. I think you guys will enjoy meeting 3 times a week. It forces me to do it, it forces you to do it, it's building your habit. At the end of the day, remember that we're not trying to become Michelangelo, we're just trying to build this creative habit and just show up at the page, guys. Like showing up at the page is half of the work. Once you do that and you've got someone to draw with, I don't know about you, but it's everything to me, everything. So look at the link underneath. I'm gonna put what Sketchy is giving us. There's a link under the video to all of France's classes, including the new one. And oh my gosh, I'm so glad, Elijah, that you also signed up for this May one. This is going to get us through this lockdown. I believe so. I mean, confinement has been a challenge on many levels. And I got to tell you, the idea of meeting together like this has made it so much more bearable. And I'm glad that some of you are signing up. Oh yay! Okay, cool. I'm so glad that some of you are signing up for this. Thank you. Okay, I should not forget drawing, right? I should keep going. What do you say? So again, going very lightly with these lines here that are going to slowly become a coating of dark, little by little. Because cross hatching, that's the thing. It's really, you know, kind of like knitting. You can't rush that stuff, and it's going to appear eventually really, really well. Here I'm already feeling the need to move my paper around, so watch. This is where the fun begins. I am going to start moving this around a little bit without getting it off camera. Of course, I'm very aware that I need to keep things on camera. The camera has a hard time focusing on this sometimes, but thank you guys for signing in for the new class. Calling it a class is I don't know, barely what I want to call it. It's a get together. It's let's see what we can do together, and it's going to be in pen, it's going to be in pencil, it's going to be also a little bit of Procreate, because you guys know that I absolutely love drawing digitally. And if you ask me which one I prefer, I'm perfectly incapable of telling you, because it really depends on the mood. Okay, really depends on the mood. Okay, you guys, so I am slowly but surely building darkness here. I'm going very, very lightly on my pen, extremely lightly, because that's the point of cross hatching, is to go one light layer on top of the other. And once you do that, then you're really building some fine values, you know? And then you come back and add more, you know, like here, okay, I'm feeling a little more secure in my dark, you know, spot here. So now I'm coming back and adding more cross hatching. Okay. Now we are going to build the dark behind Big Al's nose. Um, Slowly, and look, curving my lines because I'm on a curve. I'm on a round area on his face, and I want that to show. Taking my time though, I'm not rushing these, not at all. Okay. There's a little bit of dark. I hope you can still see. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna clip this back on eventually, but right now I want to show you that in order to build cross hatching that is comfortable for your hand, you have to flip this around a little bit. Okay, let me see. Da, 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 da. I'm glad. Okay, I'm seeing some really nice comments. I have an older iPad and Apple Pencil doesn't work with it. Do you know a good pencil for an iPad 3? I have Procreate, just can't find a pencil that works well with it. Um, Look, I have a personal preference for a stylus that used to exist before the Apple Pencil, and that stylus was called Pencil by 53. I still have it somewhere. I wish I could find it, Sharon. It's an amazing tool. A lot of people didn't really like it as much as I did, but I thought it was an extremely good quality pencil. Pencil by 53. You can use that with an older model iPad. You can really do wonders with it. Pencil by 53. Made by the people who did paper by 53 before it got bought by WeTransfer last year. And oh my gosh, Annie, I'm so glad that you say this. There's also the Adonit Dash. Adonit makes some really beautiful uh, styluses, and by beautiful I mean things that work really. Yeah, Adonit Dash, really absolutely a good tool. Yeah, anything Adonit, they're around like 80 or $90 perhaps, maybe less, I'm not sure. Maybe that's something you guys can discuss together. But Adonit is a really good brand. Oh my gosh, I'm getting the sniffles again. I apologize, guys. Okay. It must be from talking and having my head, you know, facing down like this. I can't explain this any other way. All right, clipping this back on so that I have the freedom to. Okay, let me move this down a tiny. No, move this down this way. There we go. You guys can see, yeah, good. Okay. All right, let me keep going here. Very lightly though. Okay, very lightly. This doesn't do wonders for my back because I'm kind of leaning further than I should. If my mom was here, she would say stand up straight or sit up straight, which was always a struggle when I was a kid and I was drawing and drawing and drawing at my desk, and she would come in and be like, sit up straight. Oops. All right. So quite a bit of dark here. You see what I just did? I didn't go all in all at once. I cross-hatched over cross-hatching, and then next thing you know, you're getting some fine dark values where you need them to be. Okay? So I like isolating an area like this so that you guys can see how it works. At least you saw that. Because time flies. I don't know about you, but those Saturday drawings, time goes by so fast. And I really want to go into the nose because that nose is, noses are curved. So I want to convey this. And I'm going to also go in. If you took that cross hatching class with me, you know that that's one of the things that we did right off the bat was draw a potato. Because drawing a potato teaches you to deal with exactly the same kind of features that we have on the face. No kidding. And that's what I'm doing here on Big Al's nose. Going very lightly, very small little cross hatching. I'm not going long and too curvy. I'm just keeping things very small and very light. I'm pressing on my pen hardly because when I come back from my second layer, it's going to build on that. Okay? Yes, Anne, good thing he's not wearing glasses, that's for sure. Yeah. And yes, Ute, I'm sure that our moms might have gotten along pretty well, no doubt about it. I grew up right by the German border. My grandfather was born German in Alsace, and his dad fought in World War One with the Germans, but my grandfather fought in World War Two with the French. Crazy, huh? Crazy but true. Okay. Yes, I'm sorry if looking at me, drawing this way makes your neck hurts. I'm sorry. So the cross hatching class is in my classes, Karen. You can find it. You can find it. It's there. I can guarantee you it's one of them. All right, let's build on that nose. I'm going slowly. I'm not rushing through this. There's nothing wrong with not rushing something. I'm keeping a little bit of light spots. I see them here. You see here, it's going to be light. It's going to be light as well, like right about here. So I don't want to touch that. I want to get close to it. But the last thing I want to do is overdo it, because last night when I was drawing this very same drawing, I did it. I'll be honest, I did it in front of the TV in the dark, and I didn't have the source of light that I have right now. This source of light is perfect because it's natural light. I'm not using artificial light. This is really the perfect kind of lighting, and it helps me not overdo it. Okay. Ta-da. Moving slowly but surely. You see here, ideally I would like to flip that paper, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to build this without having to do it, but maybe I can do it. Not ideal for the back. Guys, realize that we're not going to be able to, of course, cover the entirety of Big Al's face. But yeah, I hope that the little bit that you see today happening in front of your eyes kind of shows you how I proceed. And yes, Ute, I agree with this wholeheartedly, right? No more fighting. We are the pillars of Europe, right? France and Germany were pretty much, what keeps it together to this day. I drive a German car. I love my Volkswagen. I love it. Absolutely love. And it's funny because I was starting to film the new class for May, and I'm realizing that every single one of my pencils, all the pencils I use are German. Every one of them. It's Faber-Castell, what else? Lira, Graphit Kreide, it's Stedler. I don't know if I'm saying it right. Really, yeah, it's funny. So, guys, what do you say? Do you want to do this in May with me, where we're going to sit down on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and draw together, and just meet up, and then meet up on Saturdays live? That would be very cool, and I'm going to have fun with that. Yeah. Okay. So, how much time do we have? Oh, this is good. This is good. We have about 15-20 minutes. That way, I can actually get into this eye here, which I've really been neglecting. I've only suggested it, and geez, it deserves a little more love, a little more attention. What do you say? So that's why cross-hatching can get so meditative and fun and calming. It's because you take your time, you build and you build and you build, and next thing you know, you've got something, you know. So, Stephanie, what's going to happen is when you take the May class, you're going to get a video, a 1 hour video of me drawing, and you can watch it at any moment that you want because it won't be live. It'll be pre-recorded, so you watch it at your convenience on a Monday. And if you can't make it on a Monday, no sweat. You can do it on a Tuesday, frankly, or you can do two on Wednesdays if you cannot make it. So that will give you the option of doing it at your own pace. Even though I think that the greatest thing about it is that it forces us to show up at the page on those days. Okay. I'm trying to not lose track. Oh my gosh, Jan, well said. I like your words. Okay. Thank you. I'm so glad that you guys are signing up. Thank you for joining, Alberto. I'm really happy. Yay. Yeah, May is going to be, it can go either way. We can be um, really sad about having to stay inside. And trust me, it hasn't been easy. Or we can make the most of it and use it as an opportunity to meet virtually, as we have, because we have the technology. If you're here, it means that you have Wi-Fi, and that's a beautiful thing. So we're making the most of it. I keep saying, can you imagine if this had happened in 1998, right? We would not have half of the opportunities as we have now. And wow. So using my drawing board and having the drawing slanted like this in front of me makes for a much better drawing experience. And I urge you, wherever you are, to draw on a board like that as well and not use a flat table. I'm so used to drawing on my knees, with just a clipboard. It's no coincidence also that last night when I drew this, I did it so much faster. I was rushing through thinking, oh, I'm just going to make this sketchy. Yeah, it was so sketchy that it was overdone. I'll show you again the one that I did last night. It was done in the dark. Really not enough lighting. Nora, what were we watching last night when I was drawing? Oh yeah, we were rewatching the first season of Stranger Things. Mmm, so much fun. So you see more and more dark is appearing, more darkness, which I really just went to town last night. I just overdid it. I'll show you again because I have no shame. I'll share my failures. But I have a very comfortable relationship with my failures. I consider them my helpers, really. Yes. Oh, yeah, you use your lap. Good, good. That's exactly yeah. All right, so Cynthia, yes. Okay, um let's not panic over the beard. Obviously, I'm not going to have the time to tackle the whole beard, but I'd like to show you how I'm going to do it a little bit, okay? So let's go into the beard so that I can show you that even though it is squiggly, we are going to cover ground with straight lines. Can you all see okay as I'm doing this in this area of his face? Okay? Because yes, a beard can be overwhelming. Okay? Um, so I draw beards all the time, and one of the things that I do also here on Sketchy is I teach a class on how to draw beards because they're so much fun. So as we get into the beard, start by establishing a layer. Doesn't matter really in which direction, but that way you have some dark to hold on to. Okay? So right away, right off the bat, I'm not going dark at all. I just want to show some texture, okay? And then I come back in, but not much. Look, come back in and do a little bit of squiggle inside. That is going to suggest the fact that this is hair and not just a flat area. I'm going to do the same thing in the mustache here. So establishing a little bit of dark where I see it. Take a look right here. Oh, there's a lot more dark here too that I totally neglected to do earlier. No problem. And as I do this, as I establish that there's dark, let me do this quickly. As I do that, then I come back and add just a few hairs. I mean, really not much, just enough that it will suggest hair. Because when your brain sees this, your brain will do the rest, right? The gray, so what happens with the gray is I leave out a little bit. And you know what, Dana? I don't think it's going to be 100% faithful to exactly how gray it is in reality. But the fact that I'm going to darken some areas here and there, it's going to make the gray ones pop. So you can leave some out, but then by darkening other areas, then they kind of jump out. And this would be the most zen part of this whole drawing, would be to just try to find that balance between, okay, going dark, not going too dark, and then going dark, not going too dark. It's so much fun. All right, let me unclip this for a moment because I want to go back to Big Al's nose. Don't worry, I'm gonna come back. I just want to be right here. Okay, there we go. Again, moving very slowly and very softly. I am not pressing on this pen. I can't. I'm barely pressing on my pen. I'm just letting the pen touch the paper and do a mark that is as light as possible. Okay, now my nose is a little more realistic. And do you remember that ball that we did at the beginning? You know, the ball for the nose? It's almost gone. It's been sort of swallowed um, by the drawing, by the cross hatching. Okay, Julia, for his left cheek, our right, does it curve out or up or down? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I'm going to make this happen. Okay, I'm going to show you the gesture that I'm going to use. Okay, so Julia is asking, does it curve out or up or down? So it's going to go in all kinds of directions. And Dollar Shah, I'm using a medium thickness for the ballpoint. It's not thin. I don't like using thin. Okay. And Anita Bose, I don't think eraser is going to work because we are using ink. So whatever's on the paper now that's it. All right, let's tackle this cheek. So because it's curved like this, I can't ignore that. So I'm going to curve here a little bit. See what I'm doing? And curve this way too. But don't think for a second that I'm not going to come back and cover this again and again. You know what I mean? This is the whole point. So we have a curve. This is one thing that works really well on cheeks, is that when you have cross-hatching, you can make it sort of radiate like this so that it shows the, you know, the curve of the cheek. See that? And now come back. And again. Can you guys see? Okay, yeah. So I'm going like very lightly still. Okay. Oh, Anita. Okay, I didn't know you were using pencil. So yes, absolutely. If you want to erase in small areas, I usually don't do that because I rarely use the eraser as a tool for drawing. But absolutely, that would be a great approach to making the light areas appear. Again, super lightly, but then coming back extremely lightly. See how that goes? Ta-da! How are we doing, everybody? Okay? Yeah? You know this is not gonna be completed in time. There is no way. But I want you to get a feel for how I deal with volume. And even if we don't cover the whole face, you can learn so much by just isolating a part of the face and working on just that. I believe in that wholeheartedly. I learned so much from unfinished bits. And make no mistake, I am learning as we go right now, you know? Yeah. Oh my gosh, Ali, you're here. Hello, Ali. So good to see you. Ali is one of my students. Hey, hey. This is great. So what do you say, everybody? Are you getting that volume? Are you also getting to that point where you're like, oh my gosh, this is not flat? There's actually, you know, some 3D-ness going on. And talking of which, now I'm feeling a little safer going back in and adding some dark here, you see? Dark. Dark here too. And again, if I could go on into his forehead, I would. But I'm a big proponent of leaving foreheads alone when you don't have much time. If you're gonna, insist on a part of the face, do it on a part that is actually one that deserves attention, like the eyes, the mouth. Forehead is not going to express a whole lot, right? Holly Strauss, I agree with you wholeheartedly. I really like things that are unfinished because you can kind of see how things kind of unfolded. I'm blending here a little bit. So I have a question about blending. I do not blend at all with anything. No, my cross hatching is basically the way it blends. Okay. I don't like when things end up being too smooth. I like keeping a rough sketchiness to things that I think really makes things look more interesting. It really is a matter of taste at the end of the day. Okay, can you all still see what's going on? Yeah? Okay, so Milika, you have a good question. Where can you post? So, in 5 minutes, when I wrap this up and then say goodbye and I say see you next week, we are going to head over to Sketchy Art School in the group called Drawing with France. It's a free group. You join, you go, Sketchy Art School, find Drawing with France, and you post your drawing in the group. And that way, we can all share what we did today. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my unfinished mess. That's fine. And then if I have more time later, I will get back to it and give it another shot, maybe to show more of a sense of completion. Though really, this is never my goal. My goal is to do an hour of relaxing drawing, and whatever comes out of that, I'm okay with. And learning in the process. Like right now, I'm learning to deal with the curve of his cheek. Oh, I'm sure I'm off camera now. Oh my goodness. Small steps, guys. Small steps. It really pays off to take it slowly. Okay? And yes, Cindy, that's a very good. Oh my gosh, Big Al, you're here. Hi. I'm so glad you could make it. Great. I want to address the ink blobs, which is the drool. So take a look at the top of the page. I was telling you that I would be wiping the pen. It's not too often, but I do that when I get a little bit of pressure on my pen and things start to threaten to drool. But the thing about my pen not drooling so much is because I draw very lightly. And because the pressure is very light on the pen, then you don't have the problem of drool. Okay? So, um, those of you who are not on Sketchy, you don't have to be on Sketchy, Kiara. You can actually go to a Sketchy Art School, which is a website, and post your drawing there anyway. So you don't have to be part of Sketchy in particular. Okay, I'm gonna wrap this up, guys. I am going to wrap this up. You know that I could easily do this for another 2 hours. No problem. No problem. Okay, so let's see how I can. Okay, Cindy, quick question. You have a very good question. Will this be done for May too? Absolutely. So if you join my class for May, the one where we're going to draw like 3 times a week, plus live on Saturdays, a fourth time. We will do things like this, and then we will share on Sketchy Art School within the class itself for the Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And then we are going to just post in Drawing with France group for the Saturday one, because those are open for everybody. Um, but yeah, if you join that class, we're going to do some of this. I already chose some reference photos that I intend to draw in pen like this. It's gonna be so much fun, and one of them is Big Al. So yeah. Oh, okay, okay. All right, everybody. I think I am going to wrap things up for today. I'm going to take a photo of this. I would like to take a photo that is going to be close enough that you can see all the details maybe that this document camera maybe does not allow. So let me open my phone. Ta-da, okay. And don't forget that whenever you want to join any three of my classes these days, you get 40% off. And part of those classes can be this new one called Drawing at Home with France, where we are going to draw Monday, Wednesday, Friday, every week for the month of May, on top of Saturday. So feel free to join and make that a bundle if you want to grab two other classes, like the cross hatching one, for instance, or maybe 30 faces, 30 days, or maybe drawing beards, drawing eyes, all that. So let me take a photo, shall I? Okay. So I am going to take this photo. This shows all the detail, and I'm going to post this on Sketchy Art School in the group Drawing with France. Thank you so much for being here today. I don't know how many of you were here. Oh, I see 593 right now. Wow, that's a lot of people. That's great. Um, I'm glad you guys came. I'm glad you spent that hour with me. In May, we can spend even more time together. You will have the flexibility of just putting that video in whenever you can on a Monday or on a Wednesday or a Friday. So that will give you a little more flexibility. And also keep in mind that this very live can be rewatched later at your own convenience. So you can do that as well. And if you missed some of it, so be it. Come back and watch the beginning. It doesn't really matter. So thank you, everybody, for being here. Thank you so much. Merci. Gracias. Dankeschön. And I'm so glad that I got to spend this hour with you, this hour and 10 minutes with you. So have a great week. Stay safe, okay? And we'll meet again next Saturday. And then we're going to do this May class together, which is going to be so much fun. Okay, thank you for being here. Baci, besos, abrazos, okay? And I hope to see you next week. Next week, we're doing this again, same time, same place, because I'm not going anywhere, okay? Thank you all for being here. And don't forget to grab any class that you want at Sketchy Art School. And I'll see you on Sketchy Art School. I want to see what you've done today. Okay, bye everybody. I'm going to press finish, which is when I go. Bye. See you soon. Thank you.